All right, we'll just ignore the timer because it's 4 o'clock anyway. Nice to see everyone today. Excited to be chit-chatting with you all, sharing some strategies on today's webinar. Always like to just settle for a minute, give people, a little bit more time to trickle in. And I always love to get to know people. So if you don't mind, again, for some of you, this is going to be repeat, but that's okay. Introduce yourselves in the chat. Tell me where you're at, where you're located. Would love to get to know who's sitting here. I'll go first verbally though. My name's Morgan. I'm the founder of Sage Creatives, the marketing agency. And I am in Dallas, Texas. So if anyone's in Dallas, let me know. It's been raining for days and it's very sunny today, so feels good outside. If you're in the world of winter, I'm sorry. Oh, Jennifer, woohoo, what up? Dallas. Nice to see you again, Anthony. Look, we have another Texas fellow friend here. Oh, and Karen's in Austin. Wow, we just have a lot of Texas people today. Woohoo. Showing up. I don't know if in the Austin area y'all have gotten so much rain, but it was like a monsoon the past few days here in Dallas. So um, crazy. But as long as it doesn't turn into a tornado, I'm totally fine. Um, yeah, I've heard Nashville has had some really crazy weather. Really. Oh, cute little baby noise. Um, oh, Las Vegas, North Carolina. It's awesome. But it's very hot in Arizona. Yeah, we did get hit by the hail. It was pretty wild. Thankfully no tornado warning, but tornadoes always scare me. What up, Steven? Fort Worth. Wow, we just have Texans up in the house today. Lots of Texas people. Rain and wind in Atlanta. I guess it's just raining everywhere, huh? Los Angeles, nice. I am so jealous of Los Angeles's weather. Y'all just have such great weather. But there are times where you don't, so I'm not as jealous during those time frames. But y'all have some crazy ones. I heard y'all had like a blizzard and then like a flood, and it was just insane. Y'all had some tough weather experiences lately. Awesome. Excited to meet everybody. We'll get started in like just 2 more minutes. Just continuing to allow some people to trickle in here um, as I get started. Steve, I literally saw your picture, and this whole time I've thought that you've just been standing there so still. Um, it's a great picture. It makes you look like you're actually sitting there. I need one of those. Awesome. Hey, for those of you trickling in, we're just uh, waiting a few more minutes to get started. But you can see in the chat, people have started introducing themselves. I'd love for you to introduce yourself, where you're located, maybe what you do. And we'll get started in like 1 more minute. Go from there. Got some fun stuff we're going to be talking about today. Okay. What's up from Virginia Beach? Never been there. That sounds fun. I say beach, but I'm more of a mountain person. I don't know if Virginia Beach, though, is just a name or if you have beaches. I could be assuming. Lack of geography skills in the house today would be me. All right. And then- okay. I'm going to go ahead and jump in and get started here. And start to share my screen. Oop, hold on. Oh, uh, and can you make me co-host? Thanks, sorry. Okay, now we're gonna share screen. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to start sharing my screen in hopes that everyone can see it and that you would flag me if you can't. But today we're going to be talking about the customer journey. So if you've been following me along for the past few webinars, we talked a lot about just capturing lead gen in general, just how to capture them. But now we're going to talk about the journeys once you do capture them. So where they can go, how and where to nurture them. So excited to be talking about that today. For those who are new, a little bit about me. I've been in marketing and social media now for over 5 years, worked at some large companies, worked with lots of different industries, business owners, entrepreneurs, and my goal and experience is really just providing strategic services and resources to help people grow their businesses. I've also worked with Progreda now for about a year. So those are of you who are on the call who use Progreda. It's an all-in-one marketing software platform. Those of you who are not, highly recommend trying that out. But a really great place to kind of manage all of your marketing efforts in one place. But I always like to say about me, this is like professional personally. I always like to throw that in as an ad hoc. I have a 2-year-old son. He is my pride and joy. He is all over the place, rambunctious. He keeps me busy. And then my husband and I, we love to travel, hike, watch movies, stuff like that. So if I'm not helping businesses, I'm usually outside if it feels good. So really don't envy those who are in winter type states. I need good weather. But yeah, excited to be chatting today about customer journeys. So we're going to talk about customer journey mapping, and hopefully my internet is going to be friendly with me because it's kind of lagging. So just let me know if I cut out. Yeah, Karen, I'm with you. They are busybodies. Okay, so let's talk about customer mapping. All right, so we're going to be, oops, hold on. What's going on with my computer? Maybe. There we go. We're going to be talking about touch points here. So there's lots of different touch points within a customer's journey. First one is social media. I know we talked about this a lot on the last few series, but this is another great way to kind of nurture someone through their journey. So again, we have platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, but they serve as crucial touch points for brands. So customers often encounter brands through social media, whether that's through just organic posts or advertisements or interactions off the accounts. However, these interactions can shape customers' perceptions of the brands, especially your personality, your values, your engagement level. I was just actually talking to someone today about this, is when I go to look at someone's socials and to try and vet them out, look at them. If I see they have 100,000, 200,000 followers, but they get like 3 comments, 1 like on like all of their posts, immediate red flag. Because to me, do they not have the right audience? Do they have most audiences that are truly followers of you are going to engage in some way or another, whether it's liking, commenting, sharing. You should have high numbers to reflect the amount of followers that you have. So if you have really, 50 dedicated followers, you should have a good chunk of them engaging with your content on a regular basis. So it's so important to have authentic followers to make sure that your content is resonating. A little bit of a tangent there, though. And then positive interactions on social media is definitely where you can foster a sense of trust, loyalty, and we all know negative experiences can damage a brand's reputation. So really important that social media is a great touch point for people to consistently learn more about your brand, keep up to date with what's going on with your brand. Website. Um, uh, oh, sorry, Lucy. I'm sure, yes, we do send recordings out, by the way. A brand's website is often most of the time, the first point of contact a customer uses to seek more information about your product or service. I can't tell you the amount of times I go to a networking event and they're like, "What's your website? What's your website? What's your website?" Or if I'm in a conversation with someone online even, and I'm talking about what I do, they'll be like, can I, look at your website?" So it's a really great way for someone to vet you out a little bit more, learn more about you. Um, Not to mention that depending on the industry that you're in, your website can be very crucial in a customer's journey. Example, I have a client who is in the menopause world. They offer telehealth services, and their website is crucial in serving as a place where any woman can go and learn more about the medication, see if it's a good fit for them. What is it? What is it comprised of? Take the right measurements to see if they're a good fit for that or not. But we focus heavily on website as a touch point for customers, more so than we would like social media. It's still a crucial part of our marketing plan, but it's just a live example of where website can be a crucial step in your business. Which leads to website design, usability, content quality. They're going to significantly influence a customer's perception of the brand. So if you have a nice reflective brand on your website, testimonials, good quality content, it's a lot easier for someone to trust you off the get-go. Another live example I'll give you, I'm giving you a lot of examples today. I recently needed to find an attorney, and I, did my research, went out to the groups, Facebook groups, was like, "I need an attorney, blah, blah, blah." And someone commented their brand and their website. And immediately, it was not a great website. The graphics, it was just like a holographic, bright pink logo, and it just did not look professional for like an attorney, for example. So always be aware of that. I know it's hard to invest time, energy, and even money when it comes to website, but it is a crucial part to have a professional, good quality website that is reflective of your brand, services, and offering. So poorly designed, it's going to confuse people and it's going to deter them. It took me a minute to even want to reach out because my trust was started out very low when I didn't see a very professional brand staring back at me. But another live example. Next one, customer service. So for those, caveat into customer service. A lot of the times we hear the word customer service and we automatically think of customer support. Or when we're working with a brand and it's a specific role within a brand. But customer service is actually a very broad term, in my opinion, because what people forget is as business owners, you are the owner, customer success, customer support, all wrapped up into one. Every single touch point a customer has with you, whether it's digitally, over the phone, physically, whatever the case may be, customer service is what they're going to be looking for. So how do you treat them? How do you talk to them? What's your interaction with them? And that can be in a lot of different places. Are you prompt? Are you helpful with your responses? Are you efficient in problem resolution? Is there, positive experiences to that person's journey, regardless of where that journey starts and ends and where they're at? So customer service does not just end with a customer service representative. It is customer service is in everybody at the company, not just one person. But positive customer experiences can enhance your trust and loyalty, brand reputation. If I have a great experience, another live example, I bought a house several years ago, used an agent. We've gone through a lot throughout that process. We've sold it and bought another one through this person, but I had such a positive experience with the real estate agent that any time I hear anyone being like, I'm going to try and find a rent house or I'm going to try and buy a house, I'm like, oh, you have to use this person. You have to use this person. And it didn't take her marketing to me or her sending me marketing emails. It took a very positive experience. The way she treated me, the education she provided me, how helpful she was in getting me, my dream home, those kind of things. Those factored the way that I now love her, and I'm always referring people to her. So it is very important, customer service, making sure you're always having a positive experience with your customers or potential customers. And I will say, according to a study, HubSpot, by HubSpot, 93% of customers are likely to make repeat purchases from companies with excellent customer service. Hence why I refer to her all the time. If there's ever anything I need from a real estate perspective, I'm going to her 100% of the time. Next week is physical stores. So not as applicable if you don't have a physical store, but for those of you who do have brick and mortar locations, physical stores, or physical interactions, this could even be like if you're going to farmers markets and selling your products, or you're partnering with stores. If I can physically go somewhere and purchase something from you. So this is also important. Your your layout, your cleanliness, your staff's friendliness, product availability is also really important. I always think to myself, and this is not the best thing as a marketer, and I get that, but I always think I'm obsessed with matcha. So if I ever go somewhere and someone's like, "Oh, we ran out of matcha," I'm like, "Matcha is so popular. Why isn't it just you should have so much of it." And I know that's not fair because, things happen, product delays, shipments, and maybe you just had a really popular day you weren't expecting. But it is important in general for a positive experience. But positive experiences, same in person versus online. Again, it's going to reinforce that brand loyalty and encourage repeat visits and purchases. Also highlighting negative experiences, long wait times, poor customer service, those are going to damage your brand's reputation. So very important on customer journey there. And then email marketing. We're going to dive in a lot to this in a little bit, but this is a fantastic way to continue to nurture someone throughout their journey. There was a study not long ago talking about how many touch points it takes for someone to potentially purchase from you. It can take anywhere between 8 to 15 touch points before someone is going to purchase through you. So they've got to go through up to 15 different sort of interactions with you before they're like, all right, I'm ready to bite the bullet. And that's a lot of work if you think about it. If we're thinking about 15 different ways we have to interact with somebody, and you got to multiply that considering you're trying to sell all the time to people, you got to have automated efforts in place and workflows in place to help you with that. Email marketing is a fantastic one. It's going to provide those touch points to engage with your customers or potential customers. Personalizing it and tailoring it to your customer as preferences or behaviors, that's going to enhance your perception and encourage like call to actions. Effective marketing campaigns are going to nurture your leads, drive conversions, foster long-term relationships. Those three words alone are different steps of a customer's funnel, your funnel. So nurturing leads is sort of that beginning, that middle, even towards the end. Long-term relationships, more of that long, funnel play. Driving conversions, that's sort of that beginning, middle play. So it's really important that email marketing be a factor, a pivotal strategy that you're using throughout an entire journey for a customer. Lastly, last study that I'm going to reference is for every $1 spent on email marketing, the average return on investment is $42. So great ROAS there, great potential ROI there, if we think about email marketing in that light. So here's some different touch points. The next thing we're going to talk about is customer behavior analysis. So customer behavior analysis, in this picture, you can kind of see a few different things. We're going to talk about a little bit of them at a time. So these are the stages of a customer's journey. First one being the awareness stage. So who are you? They want to become familiar with your brand or product. In fact, Google came out with a study, 48% of consumers start with mobile research and when they're looking on something. And then 87% of shoppers begin their product searches on digital channels, so social media, for example. So digital awareness is important as you think about our website and social media that we just talked about, email marketing. These are great ways to bring awareness into who you are, what you do, and allow customers to dive in more about the brand. I'll reference a case study here too. Real life example is Procter & Gamble's Always brand launched the hashtag Like a Girl campaign to to raise awareness around gender stereotypes. Campaign went viral, uh, garnering millions of views on YouTube and sparking conversations on social media. They were effectively able to raise awareness and change perceptions about their brand. So just a live, real life example of the awareness stage and why it's so important to consistently have a digital presence. Consideration, customers are going to be comparing you to other people. We're in an oversaturated world. I like to say it's no longer becoming a place where your product alone is going to sell itself, because there's a million different versions of you, most likely. But how are you going to solve the pain or challenge of your customer is going to be the biggest. We're all selfish in nature. I'm not going to purchase something that's not going to give me benefit at the end of the day. Why would I do that? So it's really putting yourself in your customer's shoe when they're at that consideration stage. And some of those are going to factor in a few different ways. Online reviews, reputation management, that's going to be very important. 88% of consumers trust online reviews just as much as personal recommendations. So word of mouth, digital reviews, are all going to be important in the consideration stage. And then also how you handle reviews and negative feedback. That's also just as important. And in fact, over 70% of consumers say that understanding how a company handles negative reviews is key to their purchase decisions. And especially with these younger generations, like we think of like Gen Z, younger millennials, they're all about authenticity. Do you interact in a way where you're taking accountability, or you're apologizing? You're moving forward, you're making changes, you're wanting to be better. That will get you so much further than not addressing it at all and ignoring it, and especially in this generation. It's a hard pill to swallow, but you got to take it with a grain of salt on that one. I think it's also important too, when you are in these consideration stages, if you're having real life conversations with the individual, to see where they're at in that process. As simple as, hey, what other things are you considering? So that way in the back of your mind, you can do some objection handling. I think that's also really important during a consideration stage, because there's a lot of thoughts running in your mind where you're thinking you already know the benefit they're going to get from it, but they've got to believe that they're going to get a benefit from it. And everyone's financial stability varies across the board. So whereas one person might think it's a drop in the bucket, the other person maybe really doing a lot of assessment in their mind of, is this worth the risk of purchasing, depending on the product or service that you're offering. So also keep that in the back of your mind there too for consideration stage. Giving you a little bit of my sales tactics, that what I do in real life when someone's in the consideration stage is I ask who they're evaluating, if any. And then I follow up and just say, when you think about partnering with someone and I'm a service, what's important to you when you're choosing a partner? Because I also want to make sure I'm on the same page as you. Can I meet your expectations? And I am of the mindset that you can win fast or lose fast. I don't want to waste my time talking with someone in the consideration stage if we're just not a good match. It's not worth it. It's not worth my time. It's not worth your time. Disappointment will happen. I want to focus my time and energy on people that I can match their expectations. I know that I can bring value to their brand. So having some open and honest conversations during that consideration stage is really key. I know it's a scary-ish conversation to have sometimes when you're asking and being bold in that sense. It took me a really long time to get past that, but I think people can suss out very quickly if you're genuinely trying to help them. Okay, decision stage. Now they're at the decision part of finalizing their purchase or choice of if they're going with you. And there are some few things that to consider here when you are on that. So we are moving away from the laptop world of things. 82% of smartphone users consult on their phones in the store before buying, or even face to face, or I mean, sorry, over digital, like Zoom, for example. I can't tell you the amount of times I've hopped on a call on my laptop and the other person's on their phone. They're just sitting there chilling. I'm totally fine with that. No problem with me. It's not like I'm having to share my screen or anything, or they are. We're just having a conversation. But it just goes to show that people are actually relying on their cell phones as like their miniature laptop on the go. They're working, they're busy. Totally fine. But the way that they're going to perceive things on a cell phone is much different than they were on a desktop. So keep that in mind when you're creating content, sending out proposals, making it, mobile friendly, because most of the time they're going to be using their mobile for that. Um, the other is loyalty. So everyone's all about customer loyalty, wanting to make repeat purchases. So they really want to have a strong affinity for the brand. And I will caveat again here and say, especially the younger generations, the Gen Z, young millennials, they're now even more focused on brands who are open about their political stance, their views, stuff like that. I, for one, don't really care for that. I think that's should stay outside of a business, but I say that to keep that in the back of your mind. If you start to see that, if you have a younger audience, they're going to want to know where you stand on issues. I'll give a live example today too. Won't focus too much, but something that we always need to be aware of because social and digital is an ever-changing world. I don't know if we have any TikTok users in the house. I'm big on TikTok. As far as using it, there's a influencer called Elise Myers. She's huge in the space. I love her. She's so funny. But she grew so much that when the Gaza and Israel thing kind of started happening, she got bombarded with comments about where her stance was. And she remained neutral. She didn't say anything about it because she's an influencer. She just posts funny videos. However, it got a lot of she got a lot of backlash, ended up deleting her account, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I say all that to say, be prepared to run into that potentially if you do have a young audience and you have a large following and a large brand. There are ways that you can remain neutral and still say something if you don't really want to reveal which side you are on, but your consumers are going to want to know where you stand just authentically as a person. They want to know the owner, the values, the mission statement of brands, whereas, older generations really don't care about that. If your product works and it's good, they don't care who sits behind the screen. That's definitely changing. So keep that in the back of your mind as you start to think about how you want to be authentic online for those of you who have young audiences. Last thing is customers who are fully engaged represent about a 23% premium in terms of like share of wallet, profitability, revenue, relationship growth compared to average customers. So interesting to note there, the more they are, established in the brand, the more of like representative partners they sort of become in a way. Next on the list is conversion rate optimization. So we kind of talked about conversions and ROI a little bit in our last series, but today we're going to talk about CROs. So this is a process of improving the percentage of, website visitors, driving those actions such as like purchasing, signing up for something, filling out a contact form. So are they willingly giving you their information because they want more information or they want a product for that. So great for websites there. And we're going to talk about the same things. So how does conversion optimization fit into those stages that we just talked about for the customer's behavior? So for the awareness stage, we're again attracting and engaging potential customers who are just becoming aware of your product or your brand. And so we want to focus on having compelling and informative content that addresses the needs and interests of your audience. So those clear call to actions, links, guides. This could be like free ebooks, free consultation. This could even be free assessment, giving some sort of value proposition here on the awareness stage. I always like to say in a sales transaction, it's a give-get relationship. on both parties. You're giving, they're giving, you're getting, they're getting, in the beginning. They want, again, there's a million yous out there. So make yourself stand out in the way that you're going to provide value, in that. Um, I will say before I hop into consideration, for awareness stage, I always like to give free strategy. That's my thing. You'll probably see that at the end of all my webinars. I love that, because at the end of the day, marketing, to me can be overwhelming to someone who's not in the everyday world. And so that's the value that I give. For example, on the awareness stage, if someone's just curious about marketing services, I always like to give free strategy. I like to learn more about your business, and then I'll give you some ideas on how to do that. One, I just love doing that, but two, I know at the end of the day, if you start to see success with that and it works and you put in the time and effort and you want to partner with that, you're more likely to come back to me because I gave you all that time and info in the front hand. I'm giving you my secrets. So be prepared for your strategy call at the end of this. But that's just a real life example for the awareness. Consideration stage. So this is where we're providing valuable information and guidance to help customers evaluate their options, help them make informed decisions. So this could be like free demos, free trials, interactive tools to showcase. Maybe if you have a physical product that you sell, maybe giving them samples of that product so that they can use. I know that's a great that's how people always get me with skincare. They'll give me a little sample and I'll use it. I'm like, okay, I love it. I'm going to buy it. But this is another great way. I also like to say hands-on keyboard in a sense, hands-on, give them a little bit of a snippet of what they can expect if that's plausible for you and your brand. And that's just going to help them with considering if it's going to be the right fit. Not always the best thing to do depending on the customer's journey, but most of the time it's a really solid option. Decision stage. So this is we're going to be encouraging customers to take action to complete that desired conversion. So whether it's making that purchase, signing up for a service, physical product, digital, whatever the case may be. We'll want to make sure when you're from a conversion optimization strategy, make sure you check out or streamline the checkout process. So remove any unnecessary steps or distractions that may cause friction. So put yourself in your own journey too. I always encourage you to do that multiple times throughout, your business journey. Every so often, put yourself in the journey. Real life example, the menopause person, I'm going to talk about them again, client that I work with. On the website, you can take what we call a health fit survey. So tell us a little bit about your symptoms, who you are, what you're experiencing. And then on the back end, we'll tell them if, it's a right fit and if they can move on to a telehealth provider. I consistently put myself in that journey because things change as brands grow. We may want different questions. We may get different customer feedback on the journey. Sometimes things break. Digital is not always 100% guaranteed there. So it's always great to keep that in the forefront of your mind to put yourself in your buyer's shoes, put yourself through the process, invite a friend, a stranger, whoever to go through the process and get their experience or their feedback and experience. So that way you can take that and continue to refine a customer's journey. You're always trying to strive to get better. Don't ever stay stagnant. Don't ever think something's perfect, because I think there's always room to grow and improve. And especially in the world of marketing and digital, everything is always changing. And then you can offer incentives at this time too. So if they're kind of teetering, you can kind of toy with, do you want to give us, a discount, free shipping, a bonus reward? How can we kind of nudge them to take that next step? Maybe they've opened up our email 5 times reviewing our invoice before paying. Maybe that's a perfect way to just call them up or text them and be like, hey, you know what? I also want to just throw this in. If you make your purchase today, I'm going to give you a month free, or I'm going to give you 20% off, or, whatever the case may be, justifiable for you from a cost perspective of your business. But it goes a long way when you're willing to, again, have that get relationship. Lastly, the loyalty. Again, this is where we're fostering long-term relationships and encouraging repeat purchases and engagement. For the CRO here, this is where we would implement some sort of loyalty program, reward system. I know we've talked about that before. So maybe for every 10 products, they get a free product. Or maybe this is where for more of those digital services in the house, you could offer some sort of VIP, after working with you for so long or after so many sales or whatever the case may be, where they get a little bit more handholding or maybe some extra coaching from you, maybe a rev share partnership, if that makes sense, just depending on what your service is. This is where you're going to establish that long-term loyalty. And obviously personalize your communication and offers based on the past purchase history. So one thing, oh yeah, sorry, bye Karen. One thing that I love to do within this stage too is personalizing my marketing emails. I use Progreda myself, so I will segment my contact list through tags. It's a great way to segment your audience. And through a certain stage, I may send out a one-off personalized email to people who fit a certain bucket within my list. So that way I can nurture them a little bit more even after they've purchased, see where they're at. I also love to check in with everyone to see how they're growing, even after they're done working with me on a project or if they're more long term. So I may just drop a random, hey, I just wanted to check in on you. Did you meet your goal? Because I know that their goal was to reach X amount of sales, or these people's, this group of people, their goal was a little bit different. I always like to check in and let them know that I'm still here as a resource, but also I genuinely want them to succeed. So that's an example of like long-term loyalty where, especially in digital, that human touch is kind of uh, significantly decreased nowadays. So I think it goes a long way just taking 5 minutes out of your day to call a person, text a person, check up on a person, and sort of that automated way where you can still kind of personalize it. But if I'm being honest, most marketing people will tell you automate, 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 which is not bad. I'm 100% on that boat. But I do think for the people that have really great potential for loyalty here, just take the extra 5 minutes to call them on your own personally, check in on them, see how they're doing. That goes such a long way. I have done that multiple times with some of my clients. I'll just call them up and be like, how are you? How are you doing? And that goes so long. My husband, he owns his own business. He's a videographer. He does this too. And we're very big about just checking in with people. We get it, human life. Things happen, people grow, people change things. And so it's really nice to have that human touch. I know that I always appreciate it when I get it on the other end. Okay, enough about me on that end. So now we're going to be talking about relating that value back to you, the business owners, through some effort. So we're going to be talking about personalized marketing strategies. So this is where we can think about, oops, sorry, I'm losing my little note section here. This is where we can think about enhanced customer experience. So sort of as we were thinking kind of like that journey mapping here. This is going to allow the business to understand the unique needs, preferences, pain points of a customer at each stage of their journey. So that way you can effectively deliver personalized marketing. I feel like I'm about to give a lot of the same client, but I feel like this really resonates. Example of, I just did this recently with a client here for personalized marketing. We realized we have two different surveys that we pull people through. We have a survey for people who are sort of in that beginning stage of like, oh, do I have menopause symptoms or brain fog? And then sort of that later stage when they're actually ready to talk to a doctor. We noticed that a lot of people weren't converting from that front to the end. And so we thought to ourselves, maybe we need like a middle ground of some personalized reach out. So that way, it's reminding them, to take that next step and continually to give them some information. So we created a marketing email series based on, brain fog and some of the symptoms. And we did things like, hey, did you forget your keys this morning? Did you forget this? Or, are you waking up still with night sweats? Stuff like that, where it's like resonating with, obviously as a symptom of menopause, are going to be experiencing that, but it's us checking in with them personally to say, hey, we know that you're going through this. Here's how we can help. Here's some things that we can do. Here's some things that you can do. And I think it goes a long way, personalizing that. And it's going to make someone be like, oh, wait, you know what? I did. Oh, wait, that's a symptom. Okay, I need this. So we just implemented that. We've seen some positive results on that one, on that front. Increase customer satisfaction. So tailor your marketing efforts to address specific customer needs, interests. This can enhance your overall customer experience. So leading to higher levels of satisfaction on that front. The next one is higher retention rates. So this can foster like strong connections with their customers. This is going to increase their likelihood to remain engaged with the brand over time, reducing churn rates. This is more for like service-driven type products or business owners today. I see this a lot in the SaaS world as an example, or just software in general. If you're having some sort of monthly reoccurring with someone, this is more relevant, or even products too. If we think about products, we want people to continue to purchase our products. So if we lose them and they go to another product, I would consider that churn. Same for like a service. If they, yeah, I feel like retention can really apply across the board, but most of the time we associate it with like subscription-based model there. But this is why it's so important during a customer's journey that you're continually checking in. Going back to that customer service hat, you are the customer service in every aspect. Anyone who works for your business is customer service. Making sure that you're checking in with your customer. You don't just nurture them as long as you can through the sales process, and then as soon as they buy, you're like, okay, never mind. You did what I wanted. I don't care what happens next. Which sometimes we're guilty of, because it's like we put so much work on the front end to get them that we don't really think about the back end of things. Like, do we continue to nurture them outside of that? And that's just important. Okay, next one is, if my computer, my goodness, improve customer lifetime value. So again, delivering personalized experiencing, nurturing those customer relationships. You can maximize your lifetime value of each customer, driving that long-term revenue growth. As I am guilty of thinking about this a lot as a business owner myself, is how can I increase someone's longevity with me? It's a little bit easier with me because I'm a marketing services. So of course I can help you grow and continue to nurture you and grow you in different services. But for other people where it's sort of one like transactional in a sense of like, hey, you might sell a product and they may come in your store, you may talk to them and they may buy your product. You may not see them again, but are there ways that you can continue to nurture outside of them to hopefully have them as repeat customers long term? And think of that as consistent revenue in a way. If you know, like, hey, I know they're going to run out of my product in 30 days. Can I guarantee that they're going to buy that again? Can I guarantee that that's going to be consistent recurring revenue from one person? We're going to talk about resource allocation. So the first one is identifying impactful touch points. So this is helping businesses identify the most critical parts of their journey. So this is going to impact their perceptions and decisions when we think about those touch points. Prioritizing marketing efforts. So this is where we can understand which touch points are going to be influential to someone's journey with you. So this is where you can prioritize where you want to communicate and how you want to communicate, through an ad, through social, through email, phone, text. DMs is an option there too. So how can you make sure that throughout the customer's journey, your interactions have a greater impact on their buying decisions? Oh, hold on. Y'all, I'm sorry, my computer is being a jerk to me right now. Okay. All right, optimizing your marketing budget. So this will help you allocate marketing resources. Some of the things are free, some of them are not. Obviously, if you're spending ad dollars, however, I always associate time as money too. So everything has a dollar amount on it. So I would prioritize your most impactful channels to drive better results. So going back to our last conversation about my last webinar, I dived into like analytics and really understanding your audience and the channels that they're going to be more focused on. If you have a good foundation and understanding of that, you're going to know where to prioritize your marketing dollars, whether that is advertising or social media. I would say sometimes advertising might not be the best depending on your audience. They may like organic social more. So can you make sure that you're putting in the time, the energy, and even money, if applicable, to make sure you have good quality content? So does that mean hiring a videographer or photographer to have a media day where you're just capturing as much content as possible, and then they're editing clips for you so that you can post to social? Being consistent with that also a little bit of tangent here when it comes to marketing budget. Being consistent is also very important. So consistency is key. You'll hear a lot of the times, a lot of marketing agencies or just services in general will say, oh, you need to be posting every single day, all the time. I don't agree with that. I think quality over quantity all day long, and consistency. If you're posting twice a week consistently, but it's really great content, you're going to far outperform someone who posts every single day and it's crap content. And it's not great lighting, the audio sucks. It makes no sense into, your customer or anything like that. So think about that when you start thinking about your budget in a sense, as far as, obviously you have your general cost, for your service or your product. But as we think more on that marketing side, where is your money going to be best spent? And there are cheap ways to get around that in a sense, especially for those who are starting out and you're trying to really be conscious of that. I always say go to Amazon, look up ring lights where your phone can sit in a ring light and it's a stand, and find an area in your home that has really good lighting, or download like a Zoom background or something, and Zoom record with your ring light or something like that. You can always chop that up into Canva. There are ways that you can get around that if budget is really tight, that can still have a positive impact, that you can do. So I encourage you, if you don't have one, it's a great one. Just, Amazon, search it. You can find different products out there. I think they're like 20, $30 out there. Canva is another great free service where you can do graphic design, edit videos in there, chop it up if you want to start somewhere. Make sure you have good audio, good lighting, good background, not distracting, stuff like that. It goes a long way, and will help you gain more budget to put more into marketing. And then last one is measuring ROI. So focusing on those key touch points through those different journeys. It's going to allow you to more accurately measure the impact of your marketing efforts and track ROI over time. ROI is going to also look very different depending on the research that you're using. So for my clients, when I run advertising for them, it's really easy for me to measure the ROI. I spent X amount of dollars for you. Your cost per click was, $2, generating you an ROI of X. So it's really easy when you have a simple line of that, but social media, it's a little bit harder. Social media, I don't know all the time if, someone saw me yesterday on a post and clicked on something, but then a week later decided to, type in that URL because they remembered it, for example. That doesn't happen all the time, but it's a little bit harder to put a dollar amount on. The best advice that I can give if you're one of those who needs to focus more on social, it's really diving into UTM and URL tracking, which I know we talked about last time, but this is a great way of coming up with custom links. There are things like Bitly, or there's another one that I'm forgetting off the top of my head that you can use that are free to shorten links, but also use them specifically for social. So that way, in Google Analytics, you can see, hey, I just posted this link on Instagram or Facebook and I got 50 clicks, and on that day I got, 20 sales. You can most likely attribute that most of that came from social. If on ads you're seeing that you didn't get any conversions that day. So it'll be a lot easier of a way to delineate your impact for the tactics that you're using outside of that. Another thing, ROI for email marketing. You can use, UTMs, trigger links for those who have Progreda. That's a great way to monitor clicks within your newsletter campaign. So that way, when someone clicks on something, you can get an automation. You can see where they went, if they actually bought or not. I always like to say this is another great opportunity if you can do like an automation, like if they clicked on it, but within 10 minutes they didn't take that next step, call them, text them, get in front of them because they're obviously taking that next step and they're curious and clicking on stuff. So having unique links is important for those sources that you're using outside of advertising. Again, advertising is a lot easy to delineate ROI. Other sources, you got to get creative on how you're tracking that click path. Which leads me into email marketing strategies. So we are going to talk about some strategies. First of all, what is email marketing? It's going to be a digital way that you can send messages, obviously, typically in the form of emails to a group of people with a goal in mind that you're promoting a product, service, brand awareness, whatever the case may be. So it's a great, effective way for short and long-term nurture sequences within a customer's journey. All right, list building techniques when we think about how we want to segment out our customers or leads, contacts in a sense. So lead magnets, they're valuable resources offered to like website visitors in exchange for their email address. So maybe you have an embedded form or embedded survey where they're answering some questions and they have to put in their name to get something back. We do this a lot with some of my clients where we send them. I have a client who's sort of in this niche space of like apparel and community hub. And we do this for the community hub. So, are you a man who's struggling with mental health? Or do you want encouragement? Do you want, whatever the case may be? Great. We have some, resources for you. All you need is your name and email. Boom. We got them in. If they don't want to join the community that day, now we can nurture them on the benefits of that moving forward. This could also be, again, like ebooks, checklist, webinars, reports, trials, discounts, anything that you can give a customer that they're going to willingly give you a little bit of information. I always like to say in this step too, you can also test how much information you're going to be able to gather. So is it a simple name and email? Can you get away with name, email, and maybe a few qualifying questions? This, depending on where you're at within your business and your audience, you can kind of test how much you can get away with requesting information, and it just helps you have a stronger presence on understanding how you can target them via email. Sign up initiatives. So this is, again, kind of those rewards or benefits offered to encourage to subscribe to your list. So going back to another client that I have, we call them Mind Matters newsletters. So even if they don't move forward with us, we're like, hey, if you want to stay up to date on brain health in general, subscribe. We get a lot of people who actually do that. It's a really great way that we nurture them, and some of them actually do convert. It's more of a long-term play, but it's a great option. Content marketing. So this is creating and sharing relevant content to attract and engage your target audience. So this can be set outside of social. So this could be like blog posts that maybe you're putting on your website. This could be videos or podcasts. Podcasts are really, popular right now. This is a great way that maybe you just buy a mic on Amazon and you start recording yourself talking on your little ring light camera, and you're posting conversations. You start finding people that you can have conversations with. Those are really great opportunities there. TikTok videos, Reels, YouTube Shorts, those are really big right now as well. You can send out case studies, tutorials, industry insights, little nuggets of information for your content marketing there. All right, let's talk about segmentation and targeting. So one of them is behavioral segmentation. So this is going to involve you dividing your email list based on how your subscribers interact with your brand. So have they purchased something with you before? Do they visit your website a lot? have they interacted with previous campaigns? So that's think about if you're using Progreda or any sort of CRM platform, this is where you'll want to utilize the tagging functionality of a contact. So did they make a purchase? Had they ever talked to you? Do they sign up for things? And then you can craft marketing emails based on their behaviors, and it's a lot easier to group them in that effort. So a live example of that is maybe within your customer journey, you have different processes that someone has to go through. And maybe you're trying to get people to move into like a lead where they may have downloaded like a free ebook, for example, and now you want to get them on a call. This is a great way to go find everyone who downloaded a free ebook and has that tag. And then you can say, hey, I know that you downloaded my ebook not long ago. We talked about X, Y, and Z. I'd love to sit down 15 minutes for you free, and let's discuss X, Y, and Z. Or did you know I just actually released this book that goes in, deeper around that. So it's really great opportunities of where you can target people based on their behaviors there. Um, I know if you've been to my webinars, I love to throw some stats at you. So some stats, HubSpot revealed that all marketers who use segmented campaigns noted a 760% increase in revenue. When again, effective marketing has a difference. Whereas a study by MailChimp found that segmented campaigns had 32% higher open rate and over 100% higher click-through rate compared to non-segmented. So have those personalized, automated touch points based on their behaviors with your brand. Oops, sorry, I missed something. But anyway, demographics. So this is where you're going to segment out based on their characteristics. So age, gender, location, if you have it, income, occupation, industry, depending on where your brand sits in that aspect. And so this is a great way if you have differing audiences as far as age goes. We know that the boomers and millennials are very different in the way that they think and the way that they interact. So I'm going to want to target my communications very differently to both. From my experience, I feel like the older generations, they're just straight to the point. A to B, whereas millennials, you'll want to nurture them a little bit more, sprinkle in some things, have a longer, more authentic conversation with them. And so my marketing emails will look different for both of those groups there. A prime example of a client that I'm working with right now, we're targeting older generation, but we're working on how to target younger. Our messaging looks completely different. The way that we are coming to them and talking about the idea of mental health looks very different. There are different segmentisms around that based on age and audience too. So it's also understanding how your product or service fits within that person's age range will also help you within those efforts. Some other stats around that. A study from Experian Marketing Services showed that personalized promotional emails had 29% higher unique open rates and 41% higher unique click-through rates than those with not. So again, customization, personalization, it is important when we think about how we want to attract our customers. All right, automation and personalization. So we want to automate in a way that's still personalized. This would be more of like allowing you to offer like higher open and click-through rates when we're personalizing email campaigns, which will lead to increased engagement, transactions, both strategies valuable depending on the specific goals and targets of your audience. So let's talk about automated email marketing. So this is where you'll want to segment out your list, design offers, and have content within your email. I always prefer emails that have some sort of content and not just text alone. I don't want to just read a whole block of text. And let's be honest, the attention span that I have, I probably won't read a lengthy block of text. I want something that's a little bit more chopped up and more user friendly. You can also utilize local events and news as well for email marketing. And now we're going to talk about how we can automate that. I jumped ahead. So this is where I skipped a whole thing. I'm sorry. No, I didn't. Okay. We already talked about automating. My goodness, I'm sorry. We're going to talk about the cost effectiveness of email marketing. Higher ROI. So not long ago, a few minutes ago, I referenced a study saying for every dollar spent on email marketing, on average, you get about $42 on ROI there. So marketing consistently, it's going to deliver a high ROI. And so it's really important that we have different email marketing campaigns based on the journey. So a prime example is, let's just say you had an ad out there garnering interest. Maybe you're giving away a free ebook or free consultation. Someone puts in their information. What you should be doing then is nurturing them to take that next step or providing some sort of value to get them to take that next step. So for those who, are downloading an ebook, send personalized content on what they're going to be reading in that ebook. Maybe once a week, be like, hey, I know it's been a week. I talked about this in my book. This is how it directly impacts you, et cetera, et cetera. Make them start to think about the things that you're saying. So in case that they did download it, didn't read it, they'll be like, oh, wait, I need to go read that. And then they're going back and they're finding it and they're reading it. Or if you're offering someone a book, you're nurturing them to get them to book. So let's just talk about after you get them. So maybe they buy a book from you, or they buy a product, or they actually book the call. Your nurturing is going to look different than it did as you were trying to garner their and get their interest and buy-in. You already have it. So now we're continuing to nurture them and check in on them throughout their process. If you have a lengthy service process, or if it's a short transaction where it's like a physical product, then you can check in. Depending on the product that they bought, like maybe they bought, a hat or a specific type of, cookbook, for example. This is a great example of where you could be like, hey, I noticed that you purchased this. We have something similar to this. Or because you purchased this, I wanted to send you some feedback, industry insight on X, Y, and Z. So it's a really great way to nurture them throughout on that process. So making it low cost also. Email marketing, there is no printing involved, no paper, no printer. You're just digitally sending your information through email. It's a more targeted reach too. So email marketing allows businesses to have specific segments within their audience with personalized messages, minimizing that waste on, uninterested people. You're not stuck with one, little brochure that you're printing out. It's different and personalized to each of those groups. Long-term relationships. So regular communicating. So this enables you to, again, check in with your customers, keep them informed about new products, promotions happening, keep them up to date in your business and how your business is growing and improving. They love to see that kind of stuff. Personalize it. So tailor your email builds. A lot of softwares that you're using in Progreda, you can use what's called a custom value. It's basically where you can just put hi first name, and at least every single message that you're sending out there will automatically plug in that person's first name. You can even sometimes put in like their history or their preferences based on the tagging and segmenting. So be as personalized as you can in an automated way so that you can understand and care about your customers and they feel that you care about them, increasing that brand loyalty that we talked about. Nurturing loyalty. So this is where we're going to want to reward loyalty, and that's going to foster stronger relationships over time. So through targeted efforts, you can nurture giving exclusive offers, discounts, sneak peeks, perks. Always think about this as like AMC, because me and my husband, we love watching and going to the movies. Definitely slowed down since we've had kids, but when we have post kids or pre kids, we always went to AMC movies. They have a perk system there where for every dollar spent, you got so much back, and then for every movie that you went into, you got incentives back, so we got to watch free movies all the time because we were going a lot and doing the rewards. But something that I loved and I'll never forget is we were such frequent visitors that we got offered to sit in on a movie that was not out yet and give some customer feedback about the movie in itself, the trailer, all of that. Ended up being Deadpool, which we're obsessed with Marvel. We love Marvel, so we were like floored by the fact that we got to see Deadpool before it even came out. But that's an example of how, they used customer loyalty, and you got incentives, you got to do things and have experiences because you were a loyal customer. So in summary, marketing emails offer a lot of value to business owners. They're cost effective, they have high ROIs, and regular and personalized communication is going to help you build long-term relationships, fostering that loyalty and repeat business. So definitely be leveraging email marketing if you're not already today. All right. Now we're going to talk about analytics and measuring success. I know we've already talked about it a little bit, but we're going to dive into it a little bit more here. And we're going to talk about KPIs. So some KPIs that are most of the time used, website traffic. So the number of times a visitor lands on your website. I'm going to go against the grain here and say that website traffic is not always the most important metric. It is important, but I don't want someone just clicking on my website. If you were with me previous webinars, we know that typically someone stays on our website no longer than a minute, sometimes even 20 seconds. So I really want to focus on conversions on my website more than traffic. And I also want to make sure that the people that I'm pushing to my website are actually quality potential leads than just anyone through a targeted ad, for example. So website traffic is important, but I would encourage you to dig deeper into website traffic in general and figure out what KPIs are important to you there, which leads me into conversion rates. So conversion rates is measuring the percentage of website visitors who complete a desired action. So whether that's a purchase, signing up for something, filling out a form. Conversion, you can have multiple different types of conversions within one particular campaign. So one of my clients, we have 3 different conversions on the website, and we measure them differently. So one of the conversions will drive people to the initial page where they can fill out a survey. And we focus on how many clicks did we get into that. The secondary into that is, okay, out of all those clicks, how many people actually filled out their information, and that's a conversion. And then we typically have a step 2 that we nurture them long-term to take. So then that's our third conversion. And so there can be multiple different conversions on your website depending on your actual customer's journey. Your customer acquisition cost. So this is the amount of money spent acquiring a new customer. This would include like marketing and sales expenses as well. I always like to say this could also be your cost per click if you're doing advertising. I always encourage your cost per click to never be more than the price of your product because you don't want to be spending more to get less in the end. So making sure that everything that you're doing from a cost perspective eventually leads you down to a road where all of your marketing and sales efforts are cost less per person than the price of your service or product. The customer lifetime value, we talked a little bit about that. So this is going to represent the total revenue generated from a customer over their entire relationship with you. So again, when you have recurring type revenue customers, it's a little bit easier to have a stronger CLV versus like transactional or one time. But there are other ways that you can attribute that. Reputation management could be a great way here. Do they come back? Do they refer you a lot? So there's ways that you can get around that there. ROI. So this is going to be measuring the profitability of your marketing campaigns by comparing the revenue generated to the cost of the campaign. So we spent $150 on this campaign, but we ended up getting, $550 in sales. So you netted, if I'm doing the math right, 400 something. It should have been a little bit easier math, but you get the gist. So you're just taking away the cost there to see what your actual profit or ROI is from that given campaign. So these are some analytics KPIs that I would encourage you all to be looking at on a regular basis. So that way you can determine if you're heading in the right direction. So if you have 0 conversions, that's a problem. We need to get you more conversions. What I typically do if I get a business who's like, I'm just not converting anyone, I typically do some sort of nurture to give something before we start to try and sell them. Am I giving them a free digital download, a free trial, a free consultation? What can I give them for free to get their interest? That also tells me that I'm not doing a really good job of educating a customer on my brand awareness or my product if I can never get them to convert right then and there. So those are all things that we can consider when we start to look at the data. If you can, don't ever just try and throw things at the wall and hope they stick. Always have data to back up your decisions. Okay, let's talk about tools. There are so many tools out there that can help you with this. There is Google Analytics. So this is a really great tool provided by Google. It's going to help you monitor your website traffic, your user behavior, conversions, even UTM URL tracking. You can plug that in there as well. Google Analytics 360. It's a premium version of Google Analytics. This is more for like larger enterprise, but I thought I would throw that in there too, just to let you know it exists out there. Should you ever need it, I think Google Analytics is perfectly fine, to be honest, on pretty much most businesses. Adobe Analytics, they provide also comprehensive analytic platform that provides you real-time insights into your customer behavior across various digital channels. So these offers would be like segmentation, funnel analysis, attribution, that kind of stuff that you can get with Adobe. There's Mixpanel. So Mixpanel is an analytics platform focused on event-based trafficking. So if you're more of like event type business, this might be a good one for you. Now they also do web and mobile too. So if I'm going on the web or if I'm going on the mobile to purchase some sort of ticket or event, that might be a good one as you start to see where that click path of your customer lives. You have places like HubSpot Analytics. So they'll offer like website performance, lead gen, campaign effectiveness. On that end, other things off the top of my head, SEMrush is a great SEO tool, but they do have a little bit of website in there too to monitor your website traffic and growth. There's another one out there that's sort of like SEMrush, Mauve, I think is what's called, MOV. They do very similar stuff to SEMrush, but you can also monitor some of that website traffic there. So these are some good options. If you don't have the income to be investing in an analytic tool, what I would encourage you to do is focus on the insights that the native platforms give you and try your best to source them into one bigger picture. If that means downloading them as CSV files, throwing them to an Excel to look at everything at a wider lens, you can do that. But it's just a little bit more manual and time consuming, but it's not impossible. Same for organic social, going into the insight sections on social media is also going to serve you well. Okay, data-driven decision making. So again, we want to really segment and personalize based off our audience. We also want to do content optimization. So make sure that you're having quality content there and content that you know is going to resonate with your audience. Again, CRO, so conversion rate optimization. So how can we optimize those conversions from our customers? Email marketing is also a really great one where people can make data decisions and as well as social media and advertising. So different ways that we can help make data-driven decisions for our customers. Okay, some other things that we can talk about is ROI calculators. So this is also going to help you sort of on that front end as you start to strategize about what you want to do, how much you should price your offer or product, how much you should be allocating to marketing budgets, etc. So calculate your cost, measure your gains, do the math, and you can use this formula. So it's gains from your campaign minus the cost of the campaign times 100. So your ROI again will equal cost of campaign, gains from the campaign minus cost campaign. So saying that twice so you can remember how to do that. So calculating your costs if we break down each of these. So this is going to include every penny spent on campaigns. That would be ad spend, graphics, promotional offers, time. You can even do some time in there. So take, what you might charge someone hourly. Measure gain, so any revenue generated from the campaign, and then plug that in. So for example, if the campaign cost $500 and you made an extra $1,000 in sales, we would do 1,000 minus the 5,000 times the 100 to get that ROI. So we know that we had 100% ROI means you doubled your investment on that campaign. All right, now let's talk about using analytics for strategic improvements. So this is where we're going to track your performance. So this is where you'll use the insights or a software to help give you those insights and those conversions. It's going to help you identify strengths. So, if you brought in 50% more customers, then another campaign. This is a pretty good indication as why. So why did one campaign generate more profit than the other? Did you use different graphics, imagery, copy? What made it more appealing? It's going to help you spot weaknesses. So did you have a higher or lower click-through rate on one of the campaigns? Was the message unclear? Was the target audience not quite right? Make informed improvements. So based on the findings of your analytics, you can tweak the weaker campaign to mirror the strengths of your more successful ones, or you might decide what in general is going to give you a better return. All right, digital marketing trends to watch out for. So emerging technologies in marketing, it's such an oversaturated world. So there's a lot going on. One thing that I would say is really emerging in technology for marketing is AI and machine learning. It's such a huge thing right now. You also have like AR and VR being enhanced. I will only say that this is going to be stronger and more prevalent. So are there ways that you can also utilize AI and machine learning? ChatGPT is another great option of that. It's a great tool, free tool that you can use to kind of help with some of your marketing efforts on that. A lot of tools now are integrating AI as well, so helping you come up with copy or generating graphics. Helping you tailor better to your audience based off all the content or data that you have. So it's actually kind of scary how good it is, but it's probably only going to get better. Social media. So, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Threads is a new emerging platform. Be Real is a sort of new emerging platform as well. So, and we're also learning that short form videos and long form videos and given in a certain way are very popular right now. So I encourage you to be doing video content. And depending on your audience, short or long form may be valuable or both, depending on the platform. Voice search and SEO. So there's a lot of growing use of voice search, requires businesses to optimize your content, pushing SEO strategies to adapt and ensure content is discoverable through voice activated devices. So keep that in the back of your mind as you think about voice search. Again, AI. If I can't stress that enough, how AI is really up and coming. Sustainability and ethical marketing. So again, a little bit going back into what we talked about earlier. So consumers are increasingly favoring brands that align with their values. And this also goes into sustainability and social responsibility. They want to know that you have integrity, that you take responsibility, that you are value-based, you're engaging with customers and consumers as well. So authenticity is really huge here. Okay, strategies for your business success. Staying competitive. Look at what your competitors are doing. Look at the evolving world of marketing. Are you utilizing AI? That's such a blanket term because I know being in marketing, I get a lot of that question a lot is, what AI are you using, or what AI would you suggest? So make sure that you're up to date on that and be prepared to talk about those competitive advantages or benefits that some of your competitors are coming out with. Brand relevance, so aligning with trends like sustainability and ethical practices. It's going to boost your brand image. Consumers are increasingly drawn to brands that reflect, again, their values, especially around the environment and social ethics. So figure out how you can tie that in to that. Cost efficiency and reach. So social media, content marketing, they all offer very cost-effective solutions for reaching a wider audience, unlike traditional marketing. Again, short form video content like TikTok, Instagram Reels, they're going to provide really engaging ways to connect with your audiences without the need for a large advertising budget. And I will say too, on top of that is, I suspect, I could be totally wrong, but I do suspect that the world of TikTok and Instagram will kind of we'll see a lot of businesses kind of back off from advertising and focus more on content in that world, just because they're proven to have such stronger return on investment, higher conversion rates, larger audience than advertising. So you can bet that advertising is filling the heat in general from their competitors of social media. And then just future-proofing your business. So understanding and integrating digital marketing trends to foolproof your business. The digital economy is rapidly changing all the time. So what works today will probably not work tomorrow, or might not work at all next week. So be sure to always stay on top of your trends. This could be searching in general just on social media. Sometimes I'll just search up things I want to know. If I want to type in a subject or maybe a product, I'll just go search it and see what people are talking about. It's a quick, easy way to see, am I staying relevant and ahead of the times in my own avenue? Especially with digital media, there's new businesses all the time emerging, and your same category there. Okay, that was it for me. I want to open it up to any questions, Q&A, maybe for the next 5 minutes. Let's see. Oh, I think there are some questions. Ed, are you using a tool to segment your audiences? Are you doing? I use Progreda. If you don't have, oh, sorry, Ed, you left. Dang it. Sorry. And maybe we'll just reach out to Ed and let him know, and give him a free trial if he wants to use it to help segment his audience. Gustavo, yes, there will be. We'll send the recording out later on that. Any other questions for the group? Hopefully that gives you a better understanding of how to nurture your customers throughout their journey after you do capture them as a lead. Is everyone using a CRM or a software today to nurture at all? Are there people in here who are doing it manually? Put a one in the chat if you're manual. Hopefully I don't get any ones, but if you do, go you, because that's a lot of time. For anyone that does put a one or doesn't want to put a one, um, uh, oh, I'm a graphic designer and illustrator. Any ideas on getting started that I can use as a way to gather leads and conversions? Well, your target audience is probably going to be people in the marketing world or brands who want to spruce up. Well, let me ask this. Graphic designer, illustrator is like illustrator for books, for portfolios, or just like an illustrator in general. You may be muted. I may have to unmute you.
Hey, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I'm mostly I've done children's books, I've done comic books, I've done I'm working on a comic now, but my forte is children's books, and I want to get into comic books and concept art maybe for movies and certain projects. But I love design too. So I just kind of want to know what it be kind of thing to kind of start gathering, like, leads and conversions, or what type of strategy, you know.
Yeah. I think it also depends on your audience that you're trying to target. On the top of my head, I think that it would be interesting to have you gather marketing agencies actually as leads. There's lots of agencies that work within the space of like businesses or like even nonprofits who might be, uh, signing books, like children books, for example, or if you're trying to get, part of movies or comics or stuff like that, there's a lot of agencies that work in the Hollywood space. So that might be a good avenue. I would definitely also, you could probably give like a free, trying to think of what you could give that you're a graphic designer and illustrator. You can't give out maybe the same graphic, or maybe you could. Hmm.
My forte is drawing and designing, or drawing, but I love to design. I do have a website actually,
Yeah.
but I'm actually working on a newer one because I'm just trying to improve, you know.
Yeah, always get better. You could offer something like the first, 10 people who drop their email, or 5 people, I'll give you a free illustration or a redesign of your logo, or something small that you're like, I'd be interested to see what that might look like, and gives you time to nurture them while you're doing something like that, if you can knock them out quickly, or if you need a smaller set to start with. So that might be, or even a logo design consultation. That's a good one. Um, that you could offer, just to immediately capture someone's information. So figure out ways that you can, that won't take a ton of your time, but still bring value to someone to give them your information. That's what I would do.
Okay, okay, gotcha. Okay,
Yeah,
thank you so much. I appreciate that.
absolutely. Emily, I have thought about it. If there's a lot of um wants from that, I can definitely do that. I've thought about doing, diving into Progreda a little bit deeper. I will say, and I don't know, if Dana, if you can hear me, is there a way that we can maybe, I'm assuming Emily, you're a Progreda customer, so maybe we can give her like a refresher, like onboarding, or um, maybe I can even set up maybe like 30 minutes with you, deep dive into some of the automation side of the house. Dana, if you can hear me, let me know if there's someone out there that can do that. But either way, we'll make sure you get help sooner than my next webinar if I decide to do that. Um, Oh, Stephen, yes. We did call you. Sorry about the confusion. We'll definitely get you rescheduled on that. I don't know why it didn't send you a Zoom link. It always does. I that could be my fault. I may have not gotten with my assistant to give her some times, but we will get with you, Stephen. But as a professional tax preparer, what are some good ideas or great strategies? Um, Professional tax preparer for individuals, businesses, both. All. Okay, perfect. Well, if your audience is, depending on who your audience is, if they're more, individual household, um, a great way is to come up with maybe like a 10-step guide of like what you need to do to prepare for your taxes this year, or download my free checklist resource, something like that, to get them like, oh yeah, I have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing. Um, Maybe a free consultation. I'll give you for, 30 minutes, assess, where you're at, is a good idea for some strategy play. If it's more business, I would probably corporations, trust, real estate tax planning. Oh, okay. Um, okay, so more larger. Okay. I'd probably come up with some sort of figure out where a common pain or challenge is for a business, as why they would need a professional tax preparer, or um, as you're working with people and have worked with people, is there a consistent lack of understanding, or do they ask the same questions? Typically, you have that happening. I would come up with some sort of free resource that addresses that, and starts to get them to download something, or offer some sort of free consultation. So you could do something like that as well. I think it just depends on who most of your audience is and the people who actually buy from you, and then come up with a common pain or challenge that they might have, that would warrant them needing a tax preparer in maybe trust, or if you see like tax planning in general, if people really fall behind on that, how can you give some sort of free resource to them to capture their information and start nurturing them? But Emily, I will definitely, I don't know if Dana can hear me or not, but I'll definitely reach out to you and make sure that whether myself or someone from Progreda will give you like an onboarding refresher and deep dive into Progreda for you. Small businesses and S corps. Oh, okay. Small businesses. Well, I'm a small business, and I can tell you right now that I had no idea some of the things, embarrassingly, that I needed to do. Like, for example, I just started out this year with like employees, and I had no idea that they needed to fill out a W-9 before I even started paying them. I feel like that. I feel kind of stupid for saying that, but I'm going to be vulnerable here with you, Stephen. That's a great opportunity to be like, did you know, are you a small business that just started? Or are you a business that just started hiring employees or contractors? What's the difference from a tax perspective? Have them download like a free guide on the pros and cons of, having a contractor versus a W-2 employee. I did not know there were so many differences in that. And I'm glad someone talked to me about it, but that's a great example. Yeah, I did not know that, Stephen. So I needed someone like you in that moment to be like, what are you doing? But a lot of small businesses, I would presume, don't know that, and why that's so important to have. So I would definitely maybe do something like that, like, what's going to warrant someone to do contractor versus W-2 employee, and how it affects their taxes. Or S corps. I thought about being an S corp once, and someone had to sit down with me and talk to me about the pros and cons of staying LLC, staying sole proprietor, even. So those are really great like guides that you could give away for free. Is like download my free guide here that will tell you all about the pros and cons of each of your, debating on what you should do here. Or hey, did you know that you need all these documentations? Download my free checklist. So I think those are good starts for you, based on me. If I'm the only small business owner in the world that has that issue, um, I will be very embarrassed. But I'm sure a lot of people can relate on how just confusing taxes are. in general and all the different lingos and ways that you can be a business. So might be helpful to start there. Oh, well, I don't even know what a BOI report is, so there's another marketing tip for you. Um, I'm gonna have to Google that after this. Maybe Stephen will do marketing strategy, tax strategy. Okay, tell me what I'm doing wrong. I'll give you some marketing tips. Um, but yeah, never heard of a BOI report. Um, yeah, I'll have Ange email you back sometimes to get you back on the calendar. Okay. Any other questions? If not, I will let everyone wrap up. We'll be sending an email out tomorrow. If you do not have Progreda and want to try it for free, we'll give you a free trial. And then also we'll send you a link to book a free strategy call for those. Oh, look at you, Ange. It's in the chat if you want to take advantage of a free trial or a free strategy call with myself. And then if not, and you're not sure you want to do that, we'll send these links via email to everyone who attended today so that you have that opportunity. All right. Well, I hope everyone has a great rest of your evening. And I look forward to seeing you all in 2 weeks, where we will discuss. I don't know yet. We'll figure that out, and I'll let you know. And then again, Emily, I'll make sure someone reaches out to you. All right. Bye.